Megan Senatori. I'm an attorney at DeWitt, Ross & Stevens in Madison, Wisconsin, a partner there. And I teach animal law at the University of Wisconsin Law School and at Marquette University Law School.
Okay. And what kinds of issues do you do as your role as an attorney?
As an attorney, I do complex litigation and appeals, a lot of commercial litigation, insurance coverage litigation, and then I save a portion of my practice for animal law cases. I would say probably 10% of my practice is animal law cases.
Okay. So why are you here at the conference?
I'm on a panel that is addressing the link between domestic violence and animal abuse. So I'm going to be addressing what lawyers can do to get involved in creating programs in their communities to address the link, as well as legislation that's going on across the country related to the link.
And so when we talk about a link between domestic violence and animal abuse, what is that link?
The link, there's lots of studies that talk about it. Specifically, what I'm going to be addressing is a Safe Havens program that I co-founded when I was a law student. And our program provides shelter for the pets of domestic abuse victims who are trying to leave a batterer. And the statistics that we relate to are that 86% of domestic abuse victims that have pets report that batterers have threatened or harmed their pets. And so there's other research that shows that domestic abuse victims stay in abusive relationships because they're concerned about what's going to happen to their pet if they leave.
And you used that word link, and I know that link is a theme here at the conference, talking about links between animal rights and animal law issues and lots of other areas. Does that resonate with you in your work?
Absolutely. I think animal law is, in teaching it, I talk to my students about the links because there's so many different areas of law that are addressed with animal law. It's constitutional law and torts and criminal law and all these different areas that come together in different disciplines, veterinarians, social workers, attorneys, people throughout their communities should be concerned about animal law because it really relates to different areas.
And I don't know how familiar you are with the schedule, if there are other people you're interested in connecting with while you're here or other speakers you're interested in, other topics?
There was a panel that I was particularly interested in, and I apologize because I can't remember who was on it, but it was addressing theology type issues and animal law. And so I'm interested in, I tend to read about that kind of stuff, so I'm interested in that particular one.
I know when I talk to people about the work of Lewis and Clark Law School and we talk about specifically about animal law, I sometimes still get the turning of the head like, that's really interesting.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about why animal law has become its own special niche and why kind of the average person would care.
Sure. I view animal law as kind of where environmental law was in the early 1970s, so I think that's why you still get that look like, what is this that you're talking about? And I address it with my students the first day of class. What I think of animal law is really it's about human beings and not animals as much, because if you look at our legal system and how different animals are treated in the legal system, it's very much tied to how we as human beings view those animals. So if they're valuable to us as a commodity, or if they're valuable to us as a family member, if they're valuable to us as a natural resource, depending on that value, that's how our legal system determines how that animal will be treated. So animal law really brings together lots of different human perspectives, and I think people are really interested in it because people are having an awakening or a consciousness about addressing how we treat animals and that we need to consider their interests in the legal system. People have different views on how you do that, but that it's something that's worthy of consideration is, I think, why there's so much of an impetus right now behind people learning about animal law.
And within the legal profession, are you seeing more of your colleagues coming to understand the value of this field?
I think so. I'm in a bigger firm in Madison. We're the biggest Madison-based law firm. We're not the biggest firm in Madison, but that's based there. So we have about 80 attorneys, and it's fun being in this field in private practice because I have people all the time that were probably never thinking about animal law that send me articles or email me things, and more when I first would talk about animal law, I'd get that kind of strange look, what is it? And now people understand it and they see it and they spot it and they're excited to talk about it.
And then as your role as a law professor, are you finding students a growing interest among law students?
Yeah, absolutely. First day of class, we cover lots of different things. You know, what is animal law? And I also ask people why they're there. And I get answers from across the spectrum. There are people that are your traditional animal rights or animal welfare people that want to learn about animal law, all the way down to I've had people in the class because their spouse is a veterinarian, or they were a scientist that did research and were concerned about ethical issues related to research. I had one guy in the class, when I asked, why are you there? He said, to be honest, I just love my dog Mercedes, and so I wanted to take this class. So however they come in the doors is fine with me. I'm happy to teach them about animal law.
And do you think is there an automatic assumption that if you are interested in animal law or studying that field, that it's really about animal rights advocacy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a big misperception that I think is out there that people equate animal law to a particular viewpoint, and I think that's unfortunate because it is a really diverse area. People come into it, just like if you look at, say, employment law, for example, there are people that have different views on how employment law should work. Animal law is the same way, but people have a misperception that animal law equals animal rights or a particular viewpoint, and so I think more people would be interested in learning about it if they didn't think that their viewpoint wouldn't automatically fit in. So somewhere to go in the movement is to have people understanding that it's really a broader viewpoint.
Okay.